Prime sub. Okay, we're fully caught up. I want to get into, you guys, a lot of you sent me some pre-show notes. I'd like to try to get through them. We had a huge first off, thank you everyone who's super chatted and sent in TTS. Very much appreciate all your patronage tonight. You guys have been very, very generous. So thank you guys so much for your support. Okay, let me try to get through everyone's notes here. We do have a couple things to react to. What was we had 2 videos to react to. But let me get through everyone's notes here. So we were on Azalia. Did I say your name right?
No, but it's okay.
Based. Okay. You enjoy your name being mispronounced, I guess. I also think men like younger women simply because they'll put up with more BS than older women, and that's why they make up things like The Wall. I think men fail to consider that women are the gatekeepers of sex because
that's a
men
separate point.
made the gatekeeping thing?
Yeah.
Okay, you think men like younger women simply because they'll put up with more BS than older women?
Yes. It's an inexperienced thing. Yeah.
So it's an inexperienced thing?
Yeah, like I'm talking about men that specifically are like, oh, I want a 18 to 20-year-old when they're like 35 to 40 years old. What do you have in common with an 18-year-old? And then they say, yeah.
You don't think it's based in like biology or evolutionary psychology,
I don't at all.
even just a little bit?
Why?
Wait, hold on. You don't think that there's any attraction triggers in both sexes that have an evolutionary or biological basis?
No.
None?
I mean, sure, a little, but I don't think that a 35-year-old man has anything in common with an 18-year-old, and I think it's sick.
Why would that be? Well, you're using the most extreme that you could use without going into like.
Well, I'm not. Point, I'm not talking about 25-year-old men dating.
What about a 20-year-old
women?
31-year-old. What about 31-year-old with a 21-year-old?
I mean, I don't necessarily see, I think if he's specifically saying I will only date women under 23 years old, then yeah, sure, we can talk about that example. But I mean, if it's just like a relationship that happened naturally, but I'm talking about the men that are specifically like, I'll only date younger women because they will let me do whatever I want. And that's not what they say.
I mean, that's a straw man of the reasons why men prefer younger women. But
no, but I'm talking about a specific example.
I think
that we hear all the time. Yeah.
I'm reading this book. It's called The Naked Ape, and it basically just speaks on like Darwin's theory of evolution. And if we're speaking about, going back to our roots, men do gravitate towards younger women because they have more so of an ability to birth children for them. So if we're talking about like evolutionary things,
right? Exactly.
Yeah. But their eggs aren't even swimming. If it's like a really old guy, like Leonardo DiCaprio, for example, like his eggs aren't really good.
But so most men go through their prime, right?
Sorry.
Most men peak, their sexual market value peaks in their 30s, and for women it peaks ages 18 to 25, right? So that's the disparity that we're talking about here. It's got nothing to do with being predatory, but exactly what you said and what you said. It comes back to evolutionary psychology and biology. For sure, there's some outliers that are weirdos and creeps, but the exception doesn't make the rule.
But I don't necessarily think that those are exceptions. I mean, we hear it all the time. Like, oh, the women in their 30s are hitting their wall. You should go after the young, hot girls because once they hit their 30s, they're not going to be hot anymore and they have no value to society.
So you think it's because what other guys are saying or because it's what they're naturally attracted to? If a guy is naturally attracted to that and he's high caliber enough to be able to get it, why are we shaming him for that?
What do you think a 4-year-old has in common with an 18-year-old that isn't predatory and weird?
He wants that control. He knows it's a younger girl. I don't know if you've watched.
I understand your point. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going.
No, I'm just saying that usually the younger guy, like Zerka, he said it in one video. He's like, oh, I love 18, 19-year-olds. I love teenagers because they don't talk back.
Zerka is a troll.
He's a comedian.
He's like. Okay, we're not bringing.
Some men are actually agreeing with him.
Zerka said his goal is to be one of the funniest comedians in the world. You can't reach that level without saying shit that offends people. He's literally said that on multiple occasions.
Okay, let's remove his claims from.
I'm saying a lot of men do think that way, though. Mm-hmm. I'm just using him as an example.
And anyone perpetuating that when they have people that are watching them and they have a platform, men are also going to start thinking like that when they're watching that, whether or not it's a joke.
Yep.
I mean, you hear there are other, you know.
So you're
Guys-
saying men are going to be
Men are
there,
very
the
easily
proclivity
influenced,
to like
and-
younger women. will-
I just have to point something out. Everybody, look how rude Nev is being by texting on her phone. Let me just like put you on blast there. That's super rude. I do want to weigh in on this, but
My mom
I need to
asked me
step
if I
up for a
put the
sec.
chicken in the sink.
Yeah, of course,
bruh.
that's totally it.
She
Go
did.
ahead, go
She
ahead.
did. She did. She asked me if I put the chicken in the
Okay,
sink.
nobody cares. Just continue with the.
But yeah, I think when you have a platform and you're perpetuating that, then younger men are going to look at that and emulate that. And he's not the only person that's perpetuated those ideas and been serious about it.
I feel like
because
people
there
who
are
have a
plenty.
proclivity for something are going to follow that. So if guys have never once thought before, oh, I'm more interested in like younger women, then they're not going to magically think that because Zerka makes a joke about it on Valuetainment or something.
Okay,
like
but
that.
he's not the only one. And there are these like red pill podcasters that perpetuate the idea, oh, a woman's going to hit the wall in her 30s. I mean, look how many men were calling Margot Robbie mid on Twitter
Exactly.
last week. Like, because she's hit the wall, XYZ. Like, you think that's like,
well, the reason they said
not
that is
a
because
problem,
Barbie
or
is
you don't
meant to
think
be
it's
the
weird?
ultimate like epitome of beauty standards. She's meant to be the quintessential perfect woman, and that's why they're making those remarks. If
No,
she'd
it's
be
not.
cast
They
into-
did the same thing to Zendaya like
I
literally a
think the
month
Barbie
ago.
That's
movie
to
was
every
pretty
woman.
shit. I didn't like the Barbie movie. If I can.
Oh, you
just-
saw it?
Yeah, I saw the Barbie movie. I think like okay, no.
Don't talk about it because some
Yeah,
people
I
haven't
don't
watched
know.
it
I'm not
yet.
gonna
seen
spoil.
it.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm gonna say that I don't mean to use the word woke. Okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and use it. I think that it was too woke. I think that basically the patriarchal society that they complained about, that they bitched about, it was very, very similar to the matriarchal society that was Barbie Land. You know, like
What?
Can you explain to me what the word woke means?
woke. It just liberal, like
But what does it mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Besides liberal shit, what does it mean?
liberal. Oh my God, why am I getting how I'm talking about Barbie. Can I talk about
Those
Barbie
goddamn
first?
liberal.
Yeah, but you're
sissies.
trying to. You're trying to describe something without actually describing it.
Listen. I said I don't really want to use the word woke because that's not the right word. That's what I prefaced the statement with. I'm just saying that Barbie was just like I feel like the issues that Barbie was bitching about.
How the
like,
f- did we get onto Barbie?
I don't know.
Literally no
I'm-
idea.
Let's-
No, I'm
She
just
brought
talking
it
about,
up.
I'm just talking about Kenland. Okay, I think
Nah, who
Kenland.
gives a shit about that?
No,
Okay.
no. Listen.
No,
listen.
no.
Oh my f***ing God, dude.
Okay, I had to step away from a bit, but we were talking about
Older
the age,
men and younger
age gap.
women, yes.
How the f- did you guys get to Barbie from that?
She just said she didn't like it.
Then because we were mentioning Margot Robbie,
it's
and
too
I'm just
woke.
saying.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's too woke.
The society has really like messed up standards because now apparently Margot Robbie is considered mid. That's how this whole thing came up. And then
Okay,
she
well, let's
added
stick to the age thing. So, what's the what's the largest age gap for you that you've ever had?
6 years?
6 years? Let's go around the table on this. Let's do it. Go ahead.
So what would it be? I don't date men under the age of 31, so that would be like a
And you're
7.
24, correct?
Yeah, 6
Okay.
year difference, 7 year.
But you said
Yeah.
your last relationship was 6 years ago.
Yeah, he was older. I think he was 24.
Okay, 18,
Yeah.
24. Okay. What's the largest gap?
I think the largest gap was, I went on a few dates with the guy who was 35.
When you were what?
This was like last year.
Okay, 23, 35. Okay. Do you object to that age gap?
23 and 35. I mean, I wouldn't call it ideal, but I mean, like 23 years old isn't exactly like a fresh adult. So I think that's fine.
Okay. What about you?
Not too old.